It's getting crazy out here, y'all. Stay focused. Let's go, KD. Take a look around you. Look and find your way, babe. Your way, babe. Look and find your way. Yeah, take a look around you. Look and find your way, babe. Look and find your way. Yeah, I ain't talk is talk, and move is move. When I come in, bitch, I change your way. Got things to do. I done pay my dues. But where was you? Nigga, where was you? I said, take a look around you, nigga. Find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. I said, take a look around you, nigga. Find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. Hey, you the one that say that. You and me go way back. When this whole thing over, I'ma send my invoice, pay that. You don't wanna say that. You don't want this payback. I keep my composure. This my kingdom, nigga. Stay back. We had a couple of moments. You had a choice, nigga, on it. Your real colors, they showing. I'm real, nigga. I'm focused. When I come around, I'm fly with it. Stay moving, do buy with it. New sound, just vibe with it. Same truth, and we die with it. I see it like it's an obstacle. I never sit on the fence. Nothing to me is impossible. Music of me to the end. Most of the shit is illogical. All of y'all niggas depend on what they pretend. Just think with your head. Stop looking at trends. You wearing your eyes like it's topical. Clearly now, the pain is gone. The fame is on, and they play my songs. Yeah, it's real. Yeah, it's real. Yeah, I ain't talk is talk, and move is move. When I come in, bitch, I change your way. Got things to do. I done pay my dues. But where was you? Nigga, where was you? I said, take a look around you, nigga. Find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. I said, take a look around you, nigga. Find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. New era, I got y'all. Real game, we pop off. No knockoffs. Open eyes, we watch out. Mobilize, won't cop out. COVID-19 cops out, don't flop now. Open skies, we fly now. New agenda, they try now. Most y'all getting real scared of the headlines we find out. End game getting real near. If you don't know, you behind now. Behind the times, government hide behind the lines. Most brands trying to monetize. All of us have to stay inside, don't socialize. Talk is talk, and move is move. When I come in, bitch, I change your way. Got things to do. I done pay my dues. But where was you? Nigga, where was you? I said, take a look around you, nigga. Find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. I said, take a look around you, nigga. Find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. Find your way, babe.
The following program is rated TV MANOC. It contains a big pair of nuts directly on your chin. It is intended only for mature audiences. Viewer discretion advised.
I'm fat for many reasons. That is fat phobia.
This guy is ginormous. He is huge.
A lot of people gain weight over time.
I don't think that there are any problems with the body positivity movement.
Obesity is epidemic in the United States and a major cause of death.
What is fat activism?
I, a fat person, am sharing my own lived experience.
Pizza is a vegetable.
Your fat phobia is your problem.
It is not my place as a smaller-bodied white man to comment on it.
Radical body positivity.
What can men do against such reckless hate?
There's only one man who can help me.
This is for you new people. I only have one rule. Everyone fights, no one quits.
This day we fight!
Full normal.
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Testing. Testing, testicles. Welcome, everyone, to episode 25 Hundo and 34 of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular swolecast, beercast, broadcast, gangcast, mancast, pimpcast, sleevescast, and slaycast in the realm. Because when I flex, you flex. We all flex our biceps. What's going on, beaches, booshes, busters, hustlers, and your hoes? It's your boy, Papa Swole, yo. Back with another episode. Today's episode of the Beastcast is brought to you, is powered, is sponsored by Everson K2, flexing on all you beasts.
It's the fucking Catalina wine mixer. It's the fucking Catalina wine mixer.
What's going on, famwise? Welcome to the show. Happy Fef. It's 2534. We are fresh, and I mean fresh, like juicy, fresh, squeezed fresh, off a Swole fam live call. Rise and Swole was yesterday, and it was absolutely lit. It's available now for members in Swole TV. Join us over there, swolenormousx.com. That's where you can find all the private live streams. It was fire. It was awesome. Not only that, we got to talk about it because I don't want anyone forgetting that we have overtime right after today's live stream. And we are featuring a brand new Driving While Gaining. And because last week we had the stream got cut for whatever reason, and we didn't get a full recording, we are going to recap last week's Driving While Gaining. Now, of course, you could have watched that in Swole TV in the uncensored section, but we are going to watch it together again, and then we're going to hit with the brand new Driving While Gaining. So super awesome. We'll be streaming that live in Swole TV and the Daily Swole private Telegram chat. So that's going down immediately after today's episode. So thank you so much for being here. Make sure you check the links in the show notes down below and hit that thumbs up button. Come on, everyone. Hit that thumbs up. Hit the like button if you're watching on YouTube. And of course, this is streaming also live on Rumble on the Daily Swole channel. We're on a lot of places. TheDailySwole.com for all those links. And again, check the description for all the information about your discounts for apparel over at papaswolio.com. For joining the Swole fam, check out the memberships over there at swolenormousx. And let's get into today's episode. How we doing, Dylan, Mika? Nobody specials. Matthew, Anna, Heather. How we doing, JPK? What's up, Mariah? Mariah, how are we all doing? Drop in the comments, what are you smashing today? And let's get today's party started. Fucking stoked. I am stoked.
Inconceivable!
It's very conceivable. It's very conceivable. So conceivable, in fact, that we are going to bust this nut wide open. Y'all gonna love today's Swole card. Here we go, fam. Let's summon the Falcon and get today's party started. Ow. Voice of an angel. You heard. You know it's true. You know it's true. Oh, yeah, that was nice. Oh. All right. Oh, my God. Let it out. Let it out, Papa. All right. Hashtag overtime for a chance to win today's Swole card. We're just going overtime completely. All one word. Overtime. Overtime. It's going to be fucking lit. And again, that'll go live at the end of today's episode. Now let's get into that tip. We got a lot to cover, so let's fucking go. Babe, just an inch. Just an inch. It's cold outside. All right, let's kick it off with the first Swole fam post. This one's from Anissa. And she writes, super stoked. I'm starting the 90-day dash tomorrow. I already work out like a beast, but it's time to listen to the master and make some changes. Namaste, y'all. You mean Swole must stay. Very, very nice. Excellent. It's humbling. It's humbling. It's humbling. You think you got it all down. You work out really hard, but it's about doing the right things. Working out hard is fine, but once you start adding in mobility and stabilization, changes the game. All right, we got one here from Chris, and Chris says, trying something different for leg night tonight. Keeping it simple, but stressing what I'm doing for as many sets I can muster. The goal, 10 sets, 5 sets back squats, 5 set front squat, and pushing each set to as many clean reps as possible. I have not been counting at all the repetitions, but I'm only through the second rotation, and damn, am I already feeling this. Usually, I put such a planned multi-segment and laid out routine that I get a nice pump. I end up working more to get through the exercise I plan, which is usually 5 to 6 different exercises. Wow. Anyway, rest is over. Let's fucking go. Round 3 now. All right. All right.
Yeah.
All right, doing a massive volume workout, apparently. Good for you. Jen says, life has been so crazy, busy lately, but I'm alive. Our jiu-jitsu school has grown so much these past few months. We are almost to 100 students. The hubby quit his job last month, and I'm hoping to quit mine at least by the end of summer, but he's thinking I need to do it sooner than that. We have so many kids in our kids program now, and he needs more of my help. I'm so fortunate I found Papa when I did because amidst the chaos in my life, I have the discipline to not fall off and I can stay on track now. I've become more of a lurker in what little spare time I have, but I'm always here cheering everyone on. I miss the live casts on the daily, but when I can, you most definitely will see me hop on. And I have seen Jen hop on the Telegram chats and stuff like that, so I'm glad to get a post from you, Jen. My schedule is all wacky because I stay up late these days to work on some things I have planned for summer, but I'm hoping by the end of the year, this will all fall into place. I've dedicated this year to working my ass off. I turned 40 at the end of June and have big plans for the next 10 years. Thankfully, being diabetic won't be one of them. Fuck yeah, good for you. Thanks for sharing, Jen. It's been a while. It's been a while since we've had a Jen post. So it seems like this is the year. Let's get a Swole Fam age roll call. Seems like this is the year of the big 4-0, myself included. How many of you are anyone else turning 40 this year? So Jen's slightly got an edge on me by like 2 months. All right. The year of sick fucking gains. I'm going to be so fucking yoked in my 40s. 40 is going to be the year of being absolutely fucking yoked. Because my 30s were being absolutely yoked. I had yoked 30s. I had yoked 20s and yoked 30s. I'm going to have some yoked 40s. I'm going to be that guy with flowing white hair. It's going to be white. It's going to be fucking thick. And I am just going to be absolutely jacked. Once my test starts naturally dropping, I'm going to be juiced out of my mind. Be one of those guys that's just like fucking 68, just on like 1,000 grams, 1,000, just juicing out of his mind. Masters Olympia out of nowhere. All right, maybe not. But good for you, Jen. Thanks for posting. John says, hey fam, for those who need it, please allow me to provide some mental health concerning our fucktarded economy. Financial class rank and or current salary does not concern me. I earn enough to cover my basic needs and enjoy a humble, stoic, minimalized life. In the meantime, I maintain a savings and invest. I have no control what plummets, companies, banks, government, not my money, not my monkey, not my circus. On the highway, I'll never understand people in the left fast lane breaking each other's necks when they'll eventually need to merge to the furthest right lane to exit. I provide myself plenty of time and remain in the right lane, slow and steady. John is always posting these like philosophical, abstract posts, but I appreciate them. So in other words, slow and steady wins the race, making wise decisions and thinking long term. So in other words, if you're speeding and you're trying to rush, you always see those people in traffic. They do whatever they can to get 3 cars ahead. You're like, bro, you beat me by 4.6 seconds. You got to that point 4 seconds earlier. Yet you risk accidents. You have higher blood pressure and stress and you're freaking out. So John, slow and steady. And again, you can't control what you can't control. So don't worry about those things that you can't control. Be smart, make good decisions for you, and live your life. So good for you, brother. Good for you. Let's give you a little glockenspiel. All right, and I'm going to bust it out. How many of you got your P3S6? Anyone? I think a lot of people. How many people got their P3S6? Because I'm about to show a picture. Now, we weren't showing P3S6 pictures, but Nick posted one, and I think we have to share it. How many of you got your Papa Swolio signature series sixth? I hate that term. 6th release. P3S6. Did everyone get that in? Does everyone know what it is already? Me, love the color. Affirmative yesterday. Everyone got, all right, a lot of people got it. All right, here we go. P3S6. Everyone got it. All right, here we go. Nick is showing off his P3S6. Cover your eyes if you want to see it. Waited long enough. P3S6, but my thyroid. Fuck yeah, baby. All right, but my thyroid. You would have received it, but your thyroid. You would have worn your P3S6 today, but your thyroid. It's a great design. The great color. It's kind of coming through. It's hard to see it in that lighting, but it's like a purple white. It's awesome. It's awesome. And as you can tell, it was written. It was written by an adult. It's a great shirt, but my thyroid. So this is the reason why you want to pick up the signature series. You'll get designs that you won't see anywhere else. And like we've mentioned before, every 100 episodes. That's the 6th one. We started on episode Swole 2K 2000. So the next one's in 66 days. So 2600, whatever the date that is. And I think we have it in the Get Started series. We launched a calendar. We'll put more links. We're still making sure that it functions properly. But every 100 episodes. So whatever the day of 2600 is, and of course, 2 or 3 weeks beforehand, I'll start talking about it every day on the show and reminding you. And it's 24 hours. So anyway, going to be awesome. And P3S7 is going to be, how do we top that one? June 19th. Matt says June 19th. How are we going to top P3S6? I have ideas. Don't worry, I got ideas. But you can't really consider it topping because, they're all different. They're all unique in their own right. Okay, so thanks for sharing, Nick. Awesome. Looks good on you. Nice tight fit. You're making some fucking gains. I love the double-barreled middle finger. Daddy likes. All right, fam. Time for some knowledge cock. If you want to join Nick and all these lunatics, Nick, John the Swolosopher, Jen, Chris, Anissa, join the fam, swolenormousx.com. And like I said before, we have overtime going down at the end of today's episode, so don't miss out on that. We got a lot to get into, and overtime is going to be juicy. Also, if you haven't yet cover your nips with the best merch in the game, go to papaswolio.com. Use code Daily Swole for 10% off. And check out Guns, Bacon, and Freedom, the new image design. We got the pig. He's got the beard tattoo. Eagle curling dumbbells. He's firing off a couple fucking rounds. Guns, Bacon, and Freedom. This is Summer Swole. This is Summer Swole season. You're going to see a lot of epic America designs. We have so many more coming, and it's fucking awesome. These next designs that are coming out the next couple weeks are going to be absolutely out of control. So stay tuned for that. But Guns, Bacon, and Freedom, you're going to love it. And this is one of the better designs. It's awesome. So check it out. Papasoya.com. Use code Daily Swole for 10% off. Appreciate the support. And if you're going to cover your nips, especially in the gym, and if you're training hard, you need to cover your nips. You can't wear the same shirt every day. So cover your nips and cover them regularly, but at least you get to cover them with pride. All right, let's take some questions. If you got a question, drop in the comments below. Hashtag AskPapaSwolio. Let's take a call first. Let's kick it off with Craigster. Craigster's on the line. Oh, hello, Craig. Craig.
Hey, Papa, what's a good heart rate to have when you're working out getting swole? Thanks.
I thought you stopped. What's a good heart rate? That depends. That depends on your age. It depends on your cardiovascular capacity or VO2 max, which is very important. So I do sled every single morning. You can flip a tire. You can do jump rope. You can ride a bike. You can do sprints. You can do all sorts of things for cardiovascular activity. People do sauna. There are a lot of benefits to doing that kind of activity first thing in the morning, which is what I prefer. I prefer doing something cardiovascular based and something where I'm doing work. I don't want to go for a run, but I love doing sled. So I do some reverse and forward sled pulls, and I do some pushing sled, and I have some other things that I'm going to announce, or I'm going to tell you all on Monday. If it goes through, I'm picking up something else I've been looking forward to for a while. So it's going to be awesome. But in terms of a heart rate, the more efficient your heart is. The more efficient your heart is, the lower your heart rate will be at a given activity. So I would recommend, if you're interested in that type of data to be, assessing to measure your heart rate, you could use any of these like little straps or things like the Whoop strap or things like that will record or pick up the data. Whether it's accurate, heart rate's pretty easy to test, but if you're doing one of those things and you can see that adjust over time. What's also important is the heart rate recovery. There's a lot of different metrics when it comes to cardiovascular training. So in general, when you're lifting weights, you're getting some cardiovascular benefits. You're getting some VO2 improvements, but it's not like cardiovascular training. It's not like zone 2 or higher, zone 2 or zone 3 training. But if you're lifting weights, you will have improvements with that. But of course, lifting weights is not for cardio. You're lifting weights for strength, so you're not getting that kind of challenge for your body in that method. So what I would do is I would measure. I would see what your, in other words, I wouldn't be so concerned. I'd be more concerned with your resting heart rate. You can measure that when you first wake up in the morning. And you really want to do that and take the average. You want to take the average of a few days if you do your early morning heart rate measuring. But in other words, when you're lifting weights, it's not something that's necessarily going to directly improve your heart rate. You might from 0 to 1, but if you want to, you need more cardiovascular type training. So what's a good heart rate? That really does depend on the intensity of your activity, your age, and all these other, a bunch of other factors. But if you want to look up the percentiles for VO2 max, but you need to go get tested for that. You need to go to not a clinic, but exercise physiologist. You go to some of these centers where they'll do a stress test, and that's very overwhelming. But that's the only way to really measure your capacity and to see what percentile you are in for your age. Let's see. Freddie Craven. It's a good question. Papa Swole, with dips, I'll see people go down with their chest angled and then upright as they go up. Is that wrong, or is it more dependent on how your body works? Well, I mean, dips, I like chest dips. If you're leaning forward, it's more like a deep push-up, and it'll get more of the sternal fibers of your chest. Depends on your grip position, the width, and such. So dips are great. Dips are great. You get a lot more triceps too, but it's great for shoulders. It's great for chest. Remember, with any movement, depends on your mobility. So yes, it's how your body works, but most people's body doesn't work because they don't train a certain movement. They don't have proper mobility. Mamsi, Papa Swolio, to create a calorie deficit, do I have to weigh my food? No. You could be in a deficit just by eating without looking if you're in a deficit. I would focus more on getting in sufficient protein. And if you want to measure your food, yeah, you can measure your food. So that's fine. But you could be in a caloric deficit and not be measuring your food. You'd just be getting lucky, right? You'd be guessing. So I think it's beneficial if you're trying to lose body fat, if you're trying to be generally healthy and lose some mass, if you're not looking to bulk, or gain a lot of muscle from the start, if you have a lot of body fat to lose, I think it's a valuable thing to be aware of what you're eating and to get an idea of portion control. But it really comes down to an elimination diet. If you're eating nutrient dense food, that will be much more effective in your satiety, in getting full and satisfying yourself, so you won't have these types of overeating compulsions. Usually when people are eating foods that create hyper novelty, you're combining all these different types of vegetable oils and processed sugars, and you're eating them in conjunction with one another, you don't actually get full. Your body, you don't get that satiety mechanism triggered. So you just tend to overeat. But if you're just focusing on protein and fat, you'll get satisfied. You'll get full. So you need discipline. You need nutrient dense food. You need better sleep. But a calorie deficit is beneficial for long-term health. But I would focus more on nutrient dense foods. And then as a secondary, that calorie deficit will be you'll be much more able to hit that, and you'll be more satisfied. If you're just looking at calorie deficit, but you're not getting all your nutrients, you'll still be hungry. You're going to have a lot of cravings. You're going to have more issues. Stephen Luton, Papa Swolio, when traveling for work, where can I get proper nutrition without going over daily allowance? Well, I don't know what that means. So traveling on a plane, traveling in a car. Hey, that's enough. You can, like if you're driving, you can have coolers that plug into either an outlet if you have an AC adapter, or a cigarette lighter in your trunk or in your front seat. There are coolers that actually will It's like a little refrigerator you could bring with you, and then you can plug it in at your hotel or something if it's that kind of traveling. You could also bring things on a plane. You could tell the hotel or wherever you're staying that you need a fridge because you have medication, and they'll put a little mini fridge in your room and you can put your food in there. So there's a lot of ways to bring food. You can bring tons of food on a plane. Most people don't know that. You can bring tons of fucking food. You just can't bring liquids. I used to bring tons of eggs and beef. I used to bring one of those canvas satchel bags that you use as a replacement for plastic bags at supermarkets. I used to bring 2 of those on a plane. I used to bring pounds of food. So there's nothing wrong with bringing food. You can totally do that. It just takes preparation in advance. So there's different strategies to do that. You can cook food and freeze it in ahead of time. And that way, when it's thawing as you're bringing it on the plane, it'll stay frozen, it'll stay cold. So you can cook it in advance. Or if you're staying somewhere that has a kitchen, you can go to a local supermarket and buy some stuff. So it really depends on the strategy of what you're doing. You can cook jerky, you can make hard-boiled eggs, there's a lot of different things depending on how you are traveling and what your schedule is with what you're doing there, because that's also going to determine. Tiff, Papa Swolio, while doing rows, I feel like my shoulders are pulling forward like I'm shrugging. Pulling forward. You mean up? You mean up. You mean forward because you're leaning forward? That's technically elevation. Are there any suggestions on form to prevent this? Yeah, most people have overactive trapezius, upper traps. I would focus on doing dead hangs. I would do scapular depressions. I would do floor cobras, even prone press, and exercises like that to activate your middle and lower traps. But pull the weight closer, pull the weight more down towards your waist, and push your shoulder blades down, push your scapula down. What you're probably referring to is you're on a bench or you're leaning, and what you mean by forward means, it's really scapular elevation. You're shrugging up, you're elevating, and that's common. That's just a bad habit. That's a movement pattern that your body is just repeating over and over again. So there's a lot of suggestions, but that's a good one. You don't want to be pulling up. A lot of people pull the weight up to their armpit, which is terrible form for rows. You want to pull back towards your waist more. And I personally don't like rowing on a bench. I don't like kneeling on a bench. I think that's a terrible position for rows. It's much better to do it off a rack. And if you're doing it off a rack and you're doing it with your right arm, put your right leg forward. It's much better for balance. You'll feel a lot better with a stretch in your lats if you put the same foot forward that you're using to lift. Okay, Frank, Papa Soy, can you explain what those shark grips do to improve your workouts? Rubber grips that make bar thicker. Shark grip. You mean the fat grips? Is there a product called Shark Grips? There's probably a bunch of knockoffs. If you put the grips around the bar, I have a few of them, and there's different sizes. It's fantastic. It challenges your grip strength. If you have a thicker bar, it makes it harder for you to grip. This is why a lot of people that do arm wrestling use like pinch grips or a strongman. That's the weakest link in most people's lists. It's not your lats, it's not your deltoids, it's not your chest, or whatever it is, your curls. It's your grip strength. You improve your grip strength, you improve the muscles, the extensors and the flexors and your phalanges and your forearms. You improve your grip strength, everything's going to improve. This is why I love mace and club, because it challenges your grip in so many different dynamic ways. But grip machines are fantastic, practicing your grip. You just don't want to get overuse and start getting tendonitis, so you have to balance it out with flexors and extensors. So the fat grips take more pressure off. You're not over squeezing. A lot of times people over squeeze. I hate dumbbells that have a thin grip. And I have those hex dumbbells with like the thinner grip, which is fine, but I put the fat grips on it and they're fantastic. And there's different sizes. The thicker, the more challenging. Challenges your grip strength more, takes pressure off your medial and lateral epicondyles. So it takes more pressure off the friction of the forearm muscles crossing those bony processes. So it mitigates the risk of inflammation and stuff. Chris Johnston, Papa Soy, I don't have a question. God damn it. You got me. But I wanted to say thanks. I started getting my shit together at 465 pounds and I hit a plateau at 435-ish. Using your advice on nutrition, I'm at 422 as of today. Thanks, Papa. Dude, good for you. That's amazing. You're down 43 pounds. You're down like a 43 pounds. What is that? You're down like a 4-year-old or something like that. How old is a child at 40 pounds? 5? 4? 4? 3? I don't fucking know. I'll probably find out someday, but something like that, right? You're down a small human. Good for you. Keep it up, man. Keep lifting weights. Focus on your sleep. Make sure you're do your walking, do your sled work, whatever it is, but keep on lifting weights, get quality sleep, focus on your nutrition, and just be consistent. Get sleep. It's not glamorous. It's not fancy. It's just the same thing. A lot of people are looking for some kind of stimulating, exciting way to change. People that are looking for exciting ways to change things up are always looking for entertainment, and they don't stay consistent because they end up veering off to do things that I like this, I like that. It's the consistency. It's doing the same shit over and over again. Right? People treat fitness like it's fucking Netflix. Ooh, I want to watch this. I want to watch that. I want to watch that. No, do what fucking works and do it for years. But I'm bored. Then stay fat. Not you, Chris. But stupid jabronis, I would say that. All right? Don't be a Matt Damon. And you're not being a Matt Damon. I'm just saying. AN says, no llores, no te sientes bien. ¿Estás cansado? Jajaja, epic. AN, ve al puto gimnasio. Ve al puto gimnasio. Ve al puto gimnasio. Quiero ir a la biblioteca. Ve al puto gimnasio. If you know, you know. Matt the Great says, Papa Swolio, or asks, when doing mace swings, how wide of a stance should you have? Shoulder width. It depends. Some people stand a little bit closer. Shoulder width. Hip to shoulder width. There's different strategies, whether you're doing a 1-arm swing or a 2-arm swing or Persian meals. There's different pacings and stepping and rotations. So for standard mace swings, hip to shoulder width is totally fine. Stay balanced. Amanda, might be a dumbass question. I'll be the judge.
He's heating up!
All right. Amanda, might be a dumbass question, but Papa Swolio, when you talk about bone broth, are you sipping hunks of stuff? Chunks of stuff? Am I sipping chunks? I hate chunks. And if I feel gelatinous, but I want to try bone broth. Am I sipping chunks of stuff? No, unless you're putting things in there unless you're putting like chunks in there. What you can do, because if you have bone broth and you pour it out, when it cools, you'll see a separation between the broth and like the fat. So you can keep it that way and mix it together and drink it, but it might be very heavy. You can scrape it off. So if you let it cool on the counter, don't just put it right in the fridge. Let it cool and then put it in the fridge. Because if you put it in one of those mason jars and put it right in the fridge, you might get some cracking because of the quick temperature change. Just let it cool on the counter and then pour it and then put it in the fridge. Put it in the fridge first, and then you can transfer it to the freezer if you want to store it longer. But once it cools, you can scrape off the white layer, and then you'll get just more clear liquid. You just have to let it cool so it separates, and you can scrape it off with a spoon and toss it if you want. I leave it in there, but it's a much heavier, it's more fatty, more oily, and then it can give you some indigestion if you just suck down really rich broth right away. Riley, what about reverse grip back rows? You think they are worth it? So you mean underhand grip? Rack rows or back rows? Was that a mistake? Underhand grip for rows are great. It's much more comfortable for many people, so I would play around with that. So underhand grip and overhand grip, because of the position, it'll change your elbow position a little bit. So if you want to keep your elbows closer to the body, doing this is awkward. So you can have a bar. There are bars like football bars, or I have a Watson bar, or you can use Angles 90 grips where you can have a neutral grip. So if you only have a straight bar, it might be a lot more comfortable to go an overhand grip, and you'll be able to keep your elbows closer to the body. Because if you're doing it overhand, you're not going to row like this. You're going to have your elbows a little bit more flared. Let's take another call from Danny Boy. Oh, Danny Boy, asking a question on the Sleazecast.
Should I be training my shoulders
Yes.
as intensely as I'm training, like my biceps, my back, my chest, whatever? Because obviously you get a lot of activation doing chest and things like that. Right now I'm doing it kind of after my leg day, I'm doing probably 6 to 8 sets of shoulders. Should I be doing more? Or you think that's kind of good, like 6 sets every 3 days, focusing only on your shoulders?
After legs on a leg day? Fuck that. If I'm doing legs, I ain't doing other shit. I might do calves first. I'm not doing fucking shoulders after legs. I'm wiped. All right, let's unpack that a little bit. Everyone's going to have weaker body parts. So it's more important to have the strength. You don't necessarily need to overdo it. So you need to maintain the strength, you need to stress. Things like an overhead press are very functional. I never really focused more on overhead press. I do now. That's, I mean, by all intents and purposes, it's one of like, I guess, one of my weaker lifts, but it's an important lift. I think that's great to do an overhead press in terms of strength, but in terms of physique or aesthetics or balance, everyone's going to be different when it comes to shoulders. I would focus more, if you're doing shoulders, more on the posterior deltoid. You could throw that in on back day. Anytime you have a weaker body part or something that's less developed or less strong, train it first. So, I mean, if you're training shoulders as an afterthought, that's the kind of results you're going to get. So I would give them a little bit more priority, but you can train them on a chest day or a back day. I don't know the rest of your split, but 6 or 8 sets, I mean, that's a significant amount. It really is for shoulders. So the reason why I'm coming at it from this perspective is I think a lot of people don't train intense enough. They do too many sets at a lower intensity and they don't actually push the sets hard enough. So if you focus on less sets and getting at least 1 or 2, like 1 set, if you focus on trying to get 1 set as heavy as you can go, you tend to do less volume, but you train harder. It fucking wipes me out. It wipes me out doing less volume, less working set volume, less max set volume. So I'll do, it's essentially, you know, my take on Dorian Yates or the Mike Menser method, where you do 2 or 3 warm-up sets that are sub-max, that are kind of gauging your strength for that day, and then you do 1 all-out set, like 1 set where you put on as much fucking weight as possible. For 6 to 9 reps, you're doing pulse reps, you're doing isometrics, doing negatives, doing forced reps. So if you funnel all your intensity into less sets, you'll go heavier, you'll gain more strength in many cases. But it depends. I've done a lot of volume training in my days, and volume definitely works. At the same time, strength is very important, and I'm finding as I get older, and a lot of you are like, you're still a young buck, but I've also been training and lifting heavy weights, in some ways reckless. I've been lifting heavy weights for over 20 years. So I have a lot of experience. I have a lot of overload that my body has experienced. And as you get older, it is harder to recover, especially if you're not taking exogenous hormones. Now, I take a lot of pride and I put a lot of effort into my recovery with cold plunging and sauna and nutrition and sleep and all these different things and proper periodization. But I make sure now that I do less volume, but I go harder, because it's much more important for me to, yes, maintain what I have. I want to build strength, but that's what's most important as you get older, is to maintain that strength and to build strength. But I can't do the same type of volume that I did 15 years ago. It's just not the same type of effect. And I think that type of training is, if you're more advanced, is much more effective, because if you're more of an advanced lifter, you have the neuromuscular coordination, you have the training, you have the discipline, you have the focus in order to literally get close as you can to failure. People that are brand new to training don't have that kind of experience. It would harm them too much. They would get hurt. Their ligaments, their tendons, or joints haven't been seasoned to that point. They're not able to focus that level of attention, that level of stress on their muscles in 1 set as someone who's been training effectively for as long as I have. So I think it's something that it's a little bit counterintuitive when you think, oh, you're doing less actual high intense sets. But as you're more experienced, you're able to focus more. Essentially, you're focusing more experience and tension into that 1 set than a beginner can do over the course of 3 or 4 sets, for example. So you're still doing some more volume. You're still doing some more volume with the warm-up sets, but you're going sub-max just to prime the muscle for that intense overload set. So in terms of your shoulders, I'm just going to blanket this because I don't know the rest of your split or other things that you're focusing on. If you have a weaker body part, I don't care what body part it is. If you have a weaker body part, if you have a weaker body part, if you have something that you're trying to bring up, whether it's strength or size, train that area, train that first, train that with your freshness. So if you're trying to bring up your shoulders doing it after leg day, you're already wiped. You might be doing legs, but your shoulders are involved in leg day. Like if you're doing Bulgarian split squats or RDLs, plus you're physiologically, your nervous system, you're shot after a leg day if you're training legs properly. So if you're trying to bring up your shoulders, train them either on a separate day or train them first. Or do, let's say, posterior deltoid hard 3 sets or something, 2 or 3 sets, maybe 1 or 2 hard working sets before you do back day. It'll activate the posterior deltoid. But if you're not really so worried about your back, if your shoulders, and most people, their posterior deltoid is a huge weak point. Their whole posterior rotator cuff, middle and lower traps, and posterior deltoid are a weak point. You don't want to have overdeveloped anterior deltoid, which is why for the longest time, front raises are garbage. Same thing with, in overhead presses. I didn't do overhead presses for a long time, for years, because I wanted to have a prominent posterior deltoid to balance it out, because I see so many people in the gym that are like all internally rotated, all anterior deltoid, but they have no posterior deltoid in the back. They have no shape. So I always focus on the middle deltoid and the posterior. So anything you're trying to bring up or focus on, train that with priority. Grizzly is a mixed grip bench bar, also beneficial for shoulder presses. It sure can. Dumbbells are great too. Kettlebells are fantastic for shoulder pressing because of the off-centered weight. So that's fantastic. All right. Let's see. Michelangelo. I thought we did this one already. Michelangelo. Is it another one? You called in again? Or is this an old one?
This isn't a question, it's a thank you.
I think
you gave me hope when I didn't have any. Several years ago, I got told by doctors after I got in my car accident and degloved my left hand and completely tore my patellar tendon that my fitness journey ended there. I wouldn't be able to lift weights, run, none of that. None of what I'm doing right now. You just gave me hope. And little by little, I regained the strength back in my left arm, my left leg. They told me I wouldn't be able to run without a limp. I don't have any limp anymore, whether I'm running, sprinting, or walking. And told me I wouldn't be able to lift weights. I wasn't able to even hold a milk jug in this hand, and now I'm able to curl 35 pounds in my left hand. So thank you. Thank you. Changed my life, man.
Dude, that's the best. That's the best. Good for you. Good for you, Mike. Good for you. Now you can finish that Sistine Chapel. It's been fucking centuries. Get your ass off the couch. Oh my God, that was deep. Fantastic. I saw the name before. Maybe he called back in because we definitely didn't hear that before. We definitely didn't listen to that before. But I saw the name. I mean, how many Michelangelos do we have? So that's fantastic. Sorry, I had to answer a message. That's fantastic. Michelangelo, you're making all of us cry. Aww. You're making all of us cry. You know what? That's it right there. Let's go balls deep. How are we going to tap that? How are we going to? You made my eyes rain.
That's deep.
You made my eyes rain. You made all of our eyes rain, Mike.
Make me happy.
You made all of our eyes rain. All right. We're going balls deep, but if you want... Freddie, we're done with questions. We're done with questions. We have to go into overtime. We're done with fucking questions. Jesus Christ. Yes, I know you want to do more questions. Freddie loves these fucking questions. Fam, if you want to call in, though, if you want to call in and you want to make all of our eyes rain, go to askpapaswolio.com. Testimonials are great, too. That's fine. But if you want to call in, you want to have a statement, you want to ask a question, go to askpapaswolio.com and you can submit a call in there. God damn it, Freddie. God fucking damn it. All right, let's get into, we got some balls deep. We got to hustle because we got a lot of stuff to get into. I want to cover this story because I just saw this pop up and it's horrifying. The videos are gross too if you look online. Mom slams California school for transitioning her daughter to a boy, quote, behind her back. That's some fucked up shit. As district votes to keep parental secrecy policy, and bearded trans activist says teachers are protecting kids from hate and prejudice at home. So this is the issue. This is the issue. A bearded trans activist obviously doesn't have any children. Remember, the left doesn't have kids, they have yours. So if they want to cut off their private parts, they're going to, of course, use their sinister fuckery in order to manipulate your children. And California can literally...
Boys have a penis, girls have vagina.
California can literally fuck all the way off. Like, this is some sick shit. Parental rights. Remember they were calling it in Florida, they were calling it the Don't Say Gay bill, which is really sick. It was called they called it the Don't Say Gay bill. I live in Florida. Instead of calling it what it really is, the parental rights. What was it? The parental rights. All right. I brain farted. Parental rights. And in other words, they bastardized the name of it to make it seem like DeSantis is some evil fucking person. I always say it on the show, parental rights. I can't believe I forget the rest of it. But in other words, it's to protect kids. You're protecting children. You have to protect children from the purple-haired woke teachers rather than the other way around. So the leverage is, well, we're going to transition your child. We're going to make your boy a girl because you're getting hate at home. You mean the parents are trying to parent? This is why you have to pay attention. You have to pay attention to your children, because if you're at work all day and you're sending them to these little concentration camps, AKA public schools, especially in California, they are getting indoctrinated with this shit. And you have people that never want kids. You have people that are delusioned themselves that are manipulating your children. And you could say whatever you want about religion. This is a replacement for religion. But again, it's like when you learn something when you're little, you think a lot of these things literally. Children believe, think about this, children believe in Santa Claus. Children believe in Santa Claus, don't they? And you all remember, you probably believed in Santa Claus or the Tooth Fairy. You believed it until you realized, hey, that's mom's handwriting on the presents. Or you see your dad walking out of the room when they take your tooth or whatever it is, right? So at some point, or some kid at school is like, it's fake, whatever. You believe in Santa Claus. And we talk about how fucked up that idea is. If you look at it literally, that's a really twisted thing to think about. But this is what happens. Children believe shit. And if you're not around to parent them, if you're not paying attention, if you're not involved, if they're getting brainwashed, they're going to believe this shit. They're going to believe that they can be a unicorn. They're going to believe that they could be whatever. And you want to give them hope. You want them to have optimism and strive for greatness. This is not it. This is not it. Aurora Regino said her 11-year-old daughter's elementary school in the Chico Unified School District encouraged her to transition from female to male. Regino says that the counselor at the school ignored her daughter's request to tell her. Her daughter's request to tell her. They're telling children to not talk to their parents. Are you paying attention? They're telling children to not talk to their parents. The school ignored her daughter's request to tell her about her new gender identity and, quote, did nothing to support her. The Unified School District, the Chico Unified School District, voted to keep their, quote, parental secrecy policy in place, which trans activist Squeaky St. Francis says could quell youth suicide. This person's name is Squeaky St. Francis. Squeaky St. Francis. That's creepy. That's pretty sinister. You're scraping that shit from religion to make it seem like it's something virtuous or moral. Could quell youth suicide. So that's the leverage, right? We're protecting kids. They're going to get hate at home. Your parents don't understand. They don't understand your lived experience. We're protecting children from hateful parents. Have you read Orwell's 1984? The Spies, remember they turned the kids against the parents? Let's see. Quote, the elementary school transitioned her from female to male behind my back. She said, during one of those one-on-one meetings, my daughter told the counselor she wanted to tell me about her new identity. The The counselor ignored her request. But also at the board meeting was trans activist Squeaky St. Francis.
Matt Damon.
You got to look up the story. If you have kids, you need to be all over this shit. This is not a joke. This is not make believe. This is not, oh, it's just some shit in tabloid. No, this is real. The mainstream is going to underplay this because this is literally, these are their foot soldiers. These are the foot soldiers of the left, the progressives, the Democratic Party. These are the foot soldiers. These are the people that are undermining our country. They're undermining what our country was founded upon. And if you don't believe me, you're not paying attention. You're not doing your own research. You're not looking at this stuff. I am. So don't tell me that this isn't fucking happening. It's right here in front of you. You have to trust yourself. You have to trust yourself. You have to believe what you're looking at. You can verify it. So go ahead. But don't block it out of your mind and pretend like it's not happening and think it's going to go away. It's not going to go away. It's not going to go away. Let's see. At the board meeting was trans activist Squeaky St. Francis, who demanded that the school district maintain its parental secrecy because children will commit suicide. We know that the suicide rates for trans children is extreme once they get of age. The medications, antidepressants, it's horrible. Mental health for many, isn't it most? Isn't it like over 50%? Like when you get to your 20s and 30s, are like chronically depressed, suicide. When you fuck with people's hormones, this is why they would call it roid rage, right? When people go off testosterone, things like that, and their hormones get all whacked up and they get depressed or they get angry and they have... This is hormones. This is what hormones are. Hormones are chemical messengers inside the body that tells certain glands and certain organs to do certain things. And when you're affecting kids' growth and development, this is going to fuck up their brains. It's going to fuck up their development. The Chico School District sided with the trans activist. This is insane. This is why you need parents running for school board. You need to take this shit back. The Chico School District, how do you side with a trans activist? You're siding with people that are mentally disturbed. Now, there are trans people out there that live their lives, that don't want to be bothered, that are living the way in which they want, and they're free to. That's what's great about this country. But the activism is the sick part. Like, we have some trans people in our community, but they're not activists. They're not pushing this bullshit. And the fact that you have these lunatics that are speaking for this entire community, it's insane. Just like BLM doesn't speak for a huge, if not the majority of black people in the country. You have these fringe organizations, these domestic terrorist groups in so many ways that are speaking. They're just taking the mantle like, I'm speaking on behalf of... No, you're not, you fucking lunatic. You're not speaking for anyone. You can't blanket a group of... Like, they are stereotyping. They are the racists. They are the ones... They are everything that they claim you are. Okay. They sided with the trans activists and voted to keep the secrecy policy in place with a 3-2 vote. It's disgusting. It's gross. This is gross. Okay. I was diagnosed with breast cancer. My daughter was distressed and began questioning her sexuality, so she decided to reach out to a wellness counselor at her elementary school, she said. The day my daughter shared with her guidance counselor that she felt like a boy, the counselor immediately affirmed this new identity. Now, a lot of you are saying that you are a tomboy and girls can be gay. You can be. It comes down to the food. It comes down to what the parents are and the woman's eating while she's pregnant. You know, we talk about phthalates and all these things that interrupt hormones with a gestating fetus and things like that. But people are gay. You have gay men and gay women. What happened to that? What's wrong with being a gay woman? Most of this stuff is grown out of. You hit puberty, like, I think I'm a boy. I think I'm this. Like I said, I used to wear Jinkos and those skater clothes. You go through phases because you want to match other people. You want to be accepted with your peer group. And if everyone's suffering from this social contagion, you are going to want to be accepted. So you're going to play along, but you're more malleable. It's like a new operating system, and you're installing viruses really, really young. And the affirmation is the most lunatic part of it. You are literally, when you go to a psychologist, you never thought of a psychologist like, yes, that's what you are. You think you're a horse? You absolutely are a horse. You would look at that as malpractice. That's evil. You're affirming someone's delusions. You don't affirm it. You counsel them, you guide them, you support them, and you explain what they're feeling, that it's very common to go through these confusing periods, eating healthy, all these different things that they're not doing. Quote, my daughter told the counselor she wanted to tell me about her new identity. The counselor ignored her request. That person should be thrown in fucking prison. This is so sick. How are people not fucking speaking up? What is going on in fucking California? This is evil. This is literally pure evil. Okay. My daughter told the counselor she wanted to tell me about her new identity. The counselor ignored her request and did nothing to support her in letting me know what was going on at school. Oliva Phillips, an educator supporting the student privacy policy, claimed, quote, we as educators and service providers, we as educators need to cultivate an environment where students feel trust and safety and acceptance, to be unapologetically themselves without repercussions of backlash. No. You're breaking trust. If it's my child, I will put you 6 feet under the fucking ground if you get between me and my child. Have you ever seen Animal Planet and things like that? If you see a baby cub, you're hiking in the woods. What do you do if you see a baby bear? You get the fuck away because mama's close by, right? You get near a cub and maybe the bear's not aggressive against humans. You get near a cub, they will fuck your world up. Fuck your world up, protecting their young. You fucking get away from that. Jesus Christ. Meanwhile, trans activist Squeaky St. Francis. Okay.
Everybody knows you never go full retard.
The thing is, people will read this and be like, this can't be real. Squeaky St. Francis. What? Who is polyamorous. Oh, cool. I don't give a fuck. I don't care what you stick and who you stick it into. It has nothing to do with elementary school or middle school or high school or public school. Things that are paid with by taxpayers' money. But I forgot California's paying out, hundreds of millions of dollars to black people who have no ancestors that were slaves, right? California, a state which never had slavery, is going to pay out reparations for what? It's a grift. It's robbery. Oh, God, this is so sick. Okay, that's off topic. Who is polyamorous said school can often be the only place for children to discover their gender identity. That is fucking evil. That's sick. School can often be the only place for children to discover their gender identity. Children. See that? That's not even a fucking full sentence. That part of a sentence. School can be the only place where children. They are sexualizing your children. This is not a drill. And I'm not going to use the term they. You are one person. This they shit has to stop. This pronoun bullshit has to stop. It has to stop. I don't hate these people. I hate stupid shit. And this is so fucking stupid. You are not a they. You are at least pick one. If you look like a woman, even if you're not biologically, yeah, I'll probably refer to you as a woman if you're hardcore through and through a woman. And I mean, not a real woman, but like that's what you want to be. Depending, like if you look like a woman and I don't know you're actually a man, I would call you a woman, wouldn't I? If I see a woman, like you look close enough to a woman, I'd probably assume that you were a woman. I'd find out if I saw that dingling, but you get the point. I'm not calling you multiple people. It's a bastardization of our language. Oh, they went to the mall. If I said they went to the mall, am I talking about how many people am I referring to? Multiple. Not someone with their personality disorder. I'm multiple people. Yeah, we have a padded room over here for you. I'm multiple people. Okay. I will speak loud for those who cannot speak. How many mutes are up in arms about this? I am a proud he, she, they, them, whatever I am, a boyfriend to a beautiful woman. I am a girlfriend to a handsome trans man. And I am also a girlfriend to an incredibly beautiful woman, they said. I'm done with that. Did anyone hear what I just said? What the fuck was that paragraph? When the actual fuck was that? Okay.
Matt Damon.
This is not to bring things down. This is not to, but this is serious shit. And anyone that thinks it's not serious, that thinks like, oh, that's ridiculous. You're wasting your time, Papa. Go talk about fitness. No, I'm going to talk about real shit that affects real people. Plus, I'll talk about whatever the fuck I want. I always hear people say, Papa Swole, you stay in your lane. I built the fucking highway. Everything's my lane. I'll talk about whatever the fuck I want. You don't have to listen, but I will voice my opinion because that's what I want to do. And when you're raping our country and you're raping our language and you're raping freedom, I take offense to that. And if you take offense to having a dick, okay, that's weird. You probably should be spending $100 to $150 an hour to handle that. Jesus Christ. All right, let's pick a number. 1, 2, or 3. Let's get a video or two in. And then we're going to go into overtime. We got shit to fucking do. Let's go. Number 1, number 2, number 3. Yeah, Squeaky can suck both my nuts. But I don't really want you on my nuts.
Sell crazy someplace else. We're all stocked up here.
Talk to your kids. Talk to your children. Homeschool. Private school. I mean, any kind of be as involved as possible. Get on the school board. I mean, you have to get involved with this shit. You have to. Move. Get the fuck out of California. Hey, Jen, I know you're doing well with your jujitsu, which is great. I mean, you're teaching kids, get the fuck out of California. Get the fuck out of that state. I don't think can you save that? I don't think you can save that. If people are actually voting for that, it's already too late. They're in the schools. They're integrated in. They're dug in. If the school board is voting to maintain that shit and a woman is saying, this person is literally pushing my child to cut off her tits or her dick or his dick, whatever the fuck it is, and they're not telling the parents, secrecy, you're going to keep that from a parent? That's evil. It's not your child. You're a sick fucking person. You're a sick, twisted individual. We have to let these states rot. These states have to rot and just disappear. Let them castrate themselves. They won't have babies. They won't have your kids to manipulate, and they'll probably riot. They'll probably be rioting in the streets because if they have no kids to manipulate, what are they going to do? They're going to be angry and go towards violence. Oh, wait, they already are. But let those states just disappear. Move to a better state. Move to a better state with people that don't hate your children, that don't want to fuck your children and manipulate and destroy your children's innocence. And let those states, let people Mad Max it all they want in California. Let them do it. If they want to, in Chicago and New York, just let those cities let them waste away. If that's what they want to do, let them do it. Just don't participate. Don't pay taxes to them. Just get out. Get out. I don't think there's any saving this kind of stuff. If people don't speak up, how many people in that school district are just not saying anything but think it's insane, but don't want to say anything because they don't want people protesting or angry or lose their job? A lot of people are just huge fucking pussies and they don't have any leverage. They don't have any leverage. So they don't say anything. And I understand, but that's how evil takes over. That's what happened in Nazi Germany. That's what happens in communist takeovers. People say nothing. They assume everyone else thinks that way. They don't want to stick their neck out. They don't want to take a stand. They don't want to say anything. They don't want to risk themselves. And they just end up nodding and they allow themselves to be brainwashed, because when you go along with this kind of evil, it erodes your integrity. And the human mind can't square that circle. You're like, I know I'm lying to myself. I'm lying. I'm an evil person. I am the embodiment of evil. So you justify it to yourself because you're protecting your family. You're doing what I need to. And because you have to sleep at night. You have to pretend that this is a good thing. I'm doing this for a right reason, but you're really not. So you brainwash yourself. Okay, let's see. Stephanie, number three. Let's go, Stephanie. Good rant to start us off, man. Talk about going deep today. All right. Obese because of racism. But more racism.
What's in the box?
But more racism.
I hate when people talk about black women being obese. I hate it because it becomes a way to blame us for a set of conditions that we didn't create.
I don't know. Taco Tuesday doesn't eat itself. In a room of 100 black women.
We are living in the Trump era.
Jesus Christ.
And look, those policies kill our people. You can't get access to good health care, good insurance. The research says...
I'm going to pause it right there. We live in a Trump era. Okay. Trump was president for 4 years, and the country was more successful than it has been forever. The economy was awesome. 4 years. I don't think people have been fat only in the last 4 years. Yeah, I don't think it's Trump at all. Just blame it on Trump. People are fat because of Trump. Yeah, it's Trump. We live in the Trump era. No, you live in the McDonald's, Burger King, Taco Bell, KFC, Popeyes, Church's Chicken, Sonic, Rallies. You live in the 7-Eleven Big Gulp era. We all do. You live in the vegetable oil era.
That black women, when we do the same diets as white women, we lose less weight and we lose it slower. And what public health practitioners think.
What the fuck are you talking about? You don't do, no, come on. We know, fam, we know how many people do. No, shut up. Silly goose. Silly goose.
Is that our stress responses in the body change our metabolism. It's literally that the racism that you're experiencing and the struggle to make ends meet actually means the diet don't work for you the same.
What? Oh my God. I don't even have to say anything. I don't have to say anything. I love it when the video just says itself. It's like, any questions? Any questions? No, there's nothing that needs to be said. Imagine making a video where you're just punching yourself in the face, like boosh, 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 boosh. Tiffany, Trinity, I feel like I lost brain cells. All right, your diet didn't work, so it's Trump. You know what's crazy is that I will, I listen to a lot of independent media. I gather my information. I make my own decisions about topics. We talk about a lot of these things here. I have explosive opinions, but I also, it's an exaggeration. I'm here and I'm fucking ranting. It's a man cast. Okay, hold on. America and a tainty man. Fuck yeah! Oh. And we'll get into it. A little church. Okay, and we're back. So, if you go on any of these sites, right? You go on CNN. CNN is terrible. CNN.com, you go on the website. You go to MSNBC, which is like as left as it gets. Every single post, it's hysterical. If you look at it, every single post, like the header and all the boom, 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 everything says Trump. It probably has Trump 50 times on the fucking homepage. That's all they talk about. That's all these idiots talk about is Trump. Everything is Trump's fault. Afghanistan, Biden, I pulled out of Afghanistan, but it's Trump's fault. No, it's your fault. It's your fault Americans got killed. It's your fault that you pulled out the fucking military before you got citizens out, you absolute ass clown. It's your fucking fault. Man. Everything that's happening now is a result of your terrible fucking policies and your absolute brain dead ineptitude. It's not Trump's fault. God, take some fucking responsibility for being a horrible, evil fucking person. Jesus Christ. It's insane. Enough. I think, I would love to say more people are waking up, but I think I don't think people wake up. I think people punch out first. I think a lot of people on the left are Democrats or people that realize that they made terrible decisions during lockdowns. They made terrible decisions. Now, the human cope, and tell me if I'm wrong, but this is what I see. Like the ego cope is not, oh my God, this is true. All the conspiracy theorists were absolutely fucking 100% correct. Maybe not everything, but you get the point. Most of the things that were a horrible conspiracy that were like, this is common sense, this is logic, this is evidence. Rather than admit and have humility, and the ego doesn't allow that. It's more like, whatever, it's politics. It's fucking ridiculous. The world, like, it's just insane. Nah, I don't get into politics. It's fucking ridiculous. They just pass it off. Have you guys experienced that? Rather than admit you were wrong, and rather than, not that you have to switch teams, like, oh, I'm on this side now, but rather than actually see the fucking light, more people will just pretend like they'll be apathetic, or they'll pretend like they don't care. They'll pretend like, it's crazy, and like, everything's nuts, and oh my God, this world, blah, blah, and just pretend like they don't have an opinion. Because then they don't have to admit they were wrong. It's like, oh, things are crazy, and then ignore it, which might be worse. I don't know. I've had some conversations with people that I had to stop because I'm like, I can't communicate with people that are brain dead like that. I can't do that shit anymore. It's not worth it. But do you guys get that? The apathy more than, oh my God, you were right, this is ridiculous. Rather than getting like red pilled or swole pilled or like, oh my God, opening your eyes. Are they more awake? Are they paying attention? Or I think they're more, because then they don't have to admit they're wrong. They can just ignore it and pretend like it goes away. All right, let's see. Let's do, I don't even know what that is. So that one last. This was, I was fat and healthy.
What's in the box?
Being fat is not cute. You are going to have health problems and it's going to shorten your life.
Based.
Hi, Zay here. Thought I'd give my 2 little cents real quick,
Oh, 2 cents is not even valuable anymore. 2 cents. What about inflation? I'd rather take 2 Satoshis. Don't give me that criminal fiat. I don't want that shit. I don't want 2 cents. Don't give me 2 cents. It's going to be worth 1 cent by the end of this video.
For the plus size people. So fast forward about 6 years ago, I actually lost a lot of weight.
That's not fast forwarding. Jesus Christ. Fast forward about 6 years ago. That's rewinding. Oh, I meant rewind. Okay. So you caught the dumb. Okay.
And I was at 202. Don't believe me? So this is me about 6-7 years ago. People thought I was skinny. Here. I was 202. That was my lowest weight, was 202. And people thought,
if you were 202, that purple shirt is covering a gut, and you probably like 5'11" or 6 feet tall or something like that. If you're 202 there. What woman? I mean, you're probably 5'10". You're probably tall, right? Okay.
I was skinny right here. Yeah. And then we fast forward a little more. COVID happened, of course. Unfortunately, I put all the weight on that I lost and then some. And of course, I had high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and I was pretty diabetic. But within that time, I lost 60 pounds. And guess what? I'm still over 200 pounds.
Shocker.
And I'm healthy. The only thing I have is asthma, and it's very well controlled. Thank you.
Sorry. I know. Look, I'm sorry. I'm not laughing at people that have asthma.
No medication except my fucking antidepressants.
I everything, but I have trouble breathing. Okay. All right, last video, let's go into OT. I didn't choose to be fat. This one's called, and the question on the screen says, oh God, It says, don't blame people not liking when you fail at weight loss and you are older on ageism. You choose to be obese. You chose to be obese. All right, this is like incoherent TikTok question. This person's @ is rain gay. Oh God. Here we go.
I chose to be obese as much as I chose to be depressed.
I'm stopping it here because this has to be discussed already. I choose to be obese like I chose to be depressed. Yeah. Now, this is an unpopular opinion, but yeah, most people are choosing to be depressed. Not directly. They're not saying, I'm going to be depressed, but all their habits lead to that. Pay attention to what I'm saying. People aren't actively saying, I want to be depressed. Although a lot of people definitely label themselves as depressed and use as a scapegoat victim shield for everything that they do in their life. But most people are choosing to be depressed. They're not going to the store and be like, I'll take 3 months of depression, please. But they are resulting in depression with their food choices, their lack of sleep, their stress levels, their meditation or lack thereof of everything. Yes, your choices lead to the outcome. Yes, your choices. However minute every single day for your years. Look at your face. Just saying, you look at your face, you trash your health, it's going to lead to all sorts of problems. I'm so sick of this shit.
I didn't choose anything. I am fat.
Yeah, you fucking bullshit. Fucking bullshit. Stop lying. No. You're just fat. I'd love to know your habits. Lies.
I'm not failing weight loss. I am currently trying to eat healthier. But
trying?
Honestly?
And doing what?
I don't care if I lose weight from that or not, as long as I'm being healthier.
That doesn't make any sense. Jesus Christ, doesn't make any sense. This is what people do so they don't have to fail. Okay? I'm trying to be healthier, but I don't care if I lose weight. Convenient, because you're not going to. I'm not trying to, so I didn't fail. Like, this is a whole product of being a victim and not trying something and not stepping outside your comfort zone because then you don't have to fail.
And I might not lose weight just from eating healthier because bodies are weird and don't always work that way.
Bodies are weird. Bodies are weird, people. Bodies are weird. You got to be careful. Bodies are weird.
You seem to be coming from extremely ignorant place.
Jesus.
And I'm not going to allow these kind of comments to perpetuate these toxic ideas. So in conclusion, you're really just wrong.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ, dude.
I'm gonna put my nuts.
Goddamn, I don't know what it is about your face, but I want to deliver one of these right in your suck hole.
Is there anything I can do to work on that?
No, not really. It's your face.
The eyes, Chico. They never lie.
Fuck. Jesus Christ. Fam, what do we got? We're going into OT. We got overtime. Oh my God. We're going into overtime, so make sure you start shifting over into the Daily Swole Telegram chat and Swole TV. We're going to go overtime right after these fucking messages. Dun, 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 dun. Look at these fucking gains. Go eat a steak, you fucking beesh. Go to the fucking gym, you fucking beesh, you fucking beesh. I need one of those like 50s cartoons where the little bicep is like, dun, dun, dun. Go to the gym. Go to the gym. Where are you going to the gym? You know, those little pre-movie cartoons. Okay. All right, the coffee's kicking in. It's overtime. Falcon, pick me a winner, you silly Talon slut. Overtime. It's overtime. Don't be a lazy beesh. It's fucking overtime. Boo-hoo. It's overtime. It's overtime with Papa Swole, yo. And the Swole fam. Dylan Shanks, congratulations. Congratulations, Dylan. Send us an email to support@swolenormous.com, SwoleCard2534 in the subject, your mailing address in the body of the email. All right. We'll take some soundboard requests, and we're going to hit that overtime siren, but you can head on over to the Daily Swole live stream, the Daily Swole Telegram chat. If you're a member, log into your account, go to your homepage, and click on the Daily Swole Telegram chat if you're not already hooked into it. You just go right in there from your Telegram app, you silly slut. It's overtime, 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 overtime.
Shut up, bitch!
Are there any women here today?
Does anyone identify as a woman today?
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? I fart in your general direction.
That's fucking bullshit. We'll take some soundboard requests. You sluts, drop it in the chat. Making sick games with Papa and the fam. It's Tainty Man. And the church. Hey. It's the church. I love you, church. I love you, Pinkston Churchill. I love you. You're so fucking cute. I'm serenading you. I love you, church. I love you. I love you, church. You're so cute. Give me your bellies.
I'd be the luckiest guy alive if that did.
I love you, church. I love you. Belly rubs. Belly rubs. Look at these nips. Nipples. Don't look. Don't look. Hold the pose. Don't look. Good. All right. Very nice. Very nice. Don't look. Don't look at me. Don't look at me when I'm doing piano cock. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Yeah. All right. We got it going on. We got it going on. We got
Finish it.
All right. We got overtime. You know it. You know it loud and clear. Fam, thank you so much for being here. Head on over to swolenormousx.com. Join the fam today to get access to all the overtime segments. This will be available shortly, hopefully later today, inside Swole TV for later listening and watching, but you have to be a member. Join us, swolenormousx.com. Click on memberships, join now, and get access to all the programs, all the training, all the nutrition, everything, including all the private live streams. It's going to be awesome. And of course, we'll be back here tomorrow for Swole Slut Saturday. But first, overtime.
We choose truth over facts.
And Joe can't come. Joe can't come.
Come on, man.
Yeah, you can't come, Brandon. You're not welcome in our OT. You can't sit with us. You can't sit with us. Fam, we'll see you inside overtime. Thank you so much for being here, you swole sluts. And it's going to be fucking lit. We got a couple DWGs. It's going to be awesome. And we will see you there. Thanks for being a part of the Daily Swole. And we'll see you tomorrow for Swole Slut Saturday. And of course, overtime starts right now. Peace, McGee's, Deuce Magoose, your boy Papa Swolio. Out.
I just wanna win on the low, like